Rabbi Kaplan.
Now, how could Rabbi Melamed say such a thing? The Chazanish didn't have achrayut leumit, didn't have national responsibility, wasn't responsible for the economy of the nation. So he forbade to use heter mechir. I mean, maybe the Chazanish had even more responsibility than you. He was worried that if we're not going to keep the halacha, we're not going to keep mitzvahs atluyas or it's like Shemitah, maybe we're going to suffer tzaras later. Maybe that's going to bring golus b'olam because of the avera of Shemitah, the Mishnah says. And maybe even if we are in Eretz Yisrael, we're still going to suffer the Yisurim of golus in Eretz Yisrael because of not keeping Shemitah. Maybe that's called responsible. Maybe the Chazanish was even more responsible than others by not letting you use the Heter Mechira. But the pshat is that Rabbi Melamed was mushpa. He was influenced so strongly by this idea of leumiyut, nationalism, that to take care of that, to strengthen that, is such an important ikar in ikre hadas, a ikar in the religion, that if you don't look for ways to strengthen the economy of our nation, of our state, which did not yet exist then, but the state that's underway, that we're working on establishing, if you don't strengthen that, if you don't use that as to be doche the Yisur of the din of Shemitah, so you are not responsible. Such talk came out of the Beis Medrash of Rav Kook. And Rav Kook didn't mean that. He didn't want such words to come out of his Beis Medrash. I mean, some might argue with me and say maybe he did want such things to come out. And maybe if you dig into the hidden ksavim, you will find talk, like sharp talk against his opponents. Opponents meaning Gedolei Yisrael, like Rabbi Yosef Chaim. You might find strong talk against him, and I did hear recently that he said some strong language against Rabbi Yosef Chaim, but I don't think it's necessary to dig into that, to be a professor, to research that. I don't think that's necessary, but I think it's enough that you see somebody of his followers to talk like that the Chazanish was missing achrayut leumit. And don't think that I'm saying what I'm saying because I'm a so-called Haredi, a yeshiva boy. I'm from the Olamai Yeshivas, and the Chazanish is one of my heroes, and he talked against my hero. No, that's not what I mean. I mean to say, there's another Gadol B'Yisrael that has a different day. And why can't you say, well, we follow... I'll give you an example. I saw a tshuva from Rabbi Yaakov Hillel. There's a big mekubal in Yerushalayim. His name is Rabbi Yaakov Hillel. Now, he seems to be that he's a machaven. That means he davens with the Kavanas Hariza, I don't know, every day or once in a while, I don't know what it is. But he also that there is such a union of davening with Kavanas Hariza. Kavanas Hariza means that there's a siddur called Siddur HaRashai. And they have like in the beginning of the Shemona Esrei, like every word is a page. And then it's a lot of shemas, or different ways of writing the Shem Havaya, and different nekudas in the Shem Havaya on that page. And you're supposed to think all these things when you say that. Say Baruch, you should think the Shem Havaya with these nekudas, or with these otios, these midluyim, and the Ato, you should think the Shem Havaya in this way. And that's called kavanas. Now, Rav Tzadok hacohen, he wrote by Richas against being mechaven kavanas when you daven. Rav Tzadok says kavanas is for Bali Ruach HaKodesh, like the Arizal. Chaim Vital, people like
Rabbi Kaplan, this is Mamish, the sheet of the Breslover Rebbe also, Kiyodua.
he said the same thing.
Yes?
Oh, so Rav Tzadok hacohen says the Breslover Rebbe also, so they said kavanas is for the Bali Ruach HaKodesh. They're there, like when they say Hashem with certain nekudas, they feel like a certain connection to Hashem, certain type of connection. When the Shem is written with other nekudas, they feel a different kind of connection. Like the Shem Havaya includes everything, so they can feel the difference, how they're connecting to Hashem. For them, there's such a thing as kavun. Anybody who's not on that level, it's meaningless, he says. What's the difference if you write the Shem with these nekudas or those nekudas, or these miluyim or those miluyim? What's the difference? So he says it doesn't belong to anybody less than a Baal Ruach HaKodesh. I saw a tshuva from Rabbi Yaakov Hillel, and then he writes that he brings this Rab Tzadok, and then he writes, this is what Rab Tzadok says, but we are nana taka de rashashkos amchinan. We eat by the table of the Rashash, of Shalom Sharavi, and he said you should have kavanas, and we have kavanas because we go by him. He didn't talk disrespectfully on Rab Tzadok. He didn't say that Rab Tzadok made a mistake. He just says Rashash is our Rebbe and we go by him. I don't know. I'm not so sure about the whole thing. Who says that the Rashash was talking, said anything different than Rab Tzadok? Maybe the Rashash also held like Rab Tzadok. I don't see where, because the Rashash wrote kavanas, but for who did he write it? He didn't say. Maybe he did say. I don't know. But I'm just giving an example how Rabbi Yaakov Hillel thought. Okay, Rabbi Tzadok said, but our Rebbe is that we have a different Rebbe. Why can't Rabbi Melamed say the same thing? And the Chazon Ish was against Heter Mechir, but our Rebbe is Rav Kook. We eat on Rav Kook's table here. Like eating mamish over there, was just a mushel, just using it as a lashon mushel. But over here, it's mamish eating. It's food. Now we're talking about sfichim. If you could eat sfichim on shvis or not. But so let Rav Melamed say, okay, our Rebbe is Rav Kook. We use that in Mechir. But what do you have to talk? You didn't have achrayut leumit. He didn't have national responsibility, because that's how they talked in his base medrash, that there's such a thing as le'umiyut, building up a nation. And the whole thing of building up a nation is not so clear at all. If we're in Golus now, if this is the time to build up a nation, if we're even allowed to build up not a nation, a state. Who says you're even allowed to build a state? I mean, just live, keep Torah and mitzvahs, and finish. What more do you need? What do you need a state for? So in that base medrash, they talk that you need a state. We're soon going to have a state, and that's docha everything. It's like a Torah chadasha mititates, and they hang it on him. Now, I don't know. I would say just the other way around. If he would have been living nowadays, he might change his whole day. I mean, if Rabbi Melamed could say he would have said you could go in the Arbais, I could also say the other way, because I really truly believe that Rav Kook was a tzaddik.
Well, let our listeners know that Rabbi Kaplan is Bucky in Rav Kook's Sefer Reish Milin.
Oh, so this is another interesting thing. Not a Bucky in the farm of Rav Kook, but the Sefer Reish Milin I am very familiar with. An interesting thing happened to me. It was around a week or 2 weeks ago. I was sitting in a waiting room of a doctor, and I was sitting next to a Bachar Datilu, me, 27 years old. And a very nice Bachar, very nice. And I had a conversation with him, and it was stimulating. not just I tried to force to be nice. It was a stimulating conversation. And he asked me, do I know about Rav Kook? And he started telling me about Orot HaTshuva, which I never saw. I saw it, but I never read it. But I showed him that I have big gears in the Sefer Reish Milin, and I taught him a few pieces, maybe three pieces, and he was very impressed from what I said over at him. And I definitely think that somebody that could say these things was a tzaddik. But my question is, how is it that from that tzaddik's base medrash came out people that could talk like this?
Well, you know what they say, Rabbi Kaplan, about
What?
the mission in Avos. What's the difference between Talmidei Avram Avinu and Talmidei Bilam HaRasha?
Right.
And because they both look like great tzaddikim, you see it in the Talmidim. I don't know what's in Arich, but
they look the same. And that's why the Mishnah had to ask, Ma Bain, what's the difference? Now, I see that from his basement this came out people. And that's what you call modern. That's called modern. You could be frum and you could be modern. Now, you might, and that means that you find the whole has a tfisas mokum. That's how I define modern. Modern means that there's kodesh, there's chol, and the chol has a place. It's a thing, but it's a thing. And our years, all the years in Golus was that the whole chol is like a toffel, a kisei for the kodesh to sit on it. If a person works the whole day and he's kaveh eating 1 hour a day, so all his work is a toffel to that 1 hour that he learns, and that 1 hour that he learns elevates all his work, and all his work becomes kodesh because it's a hechsher mitzvah for him to be able to learn that 1 hour that he learns. But the whole can't come along and say, I have a schuskim, I'm a something, I'm Roy that you should be misasik in me, you should be interested in me, you should learn me. No. If somebody has parnos in a different, and there's no, some has parnos in a different way, it doesn't matter what he is. If he's a big doctor, or he's a big physicist, or if he's a big lawyer, or if he's a garbage collector, it doesn't matter. As long as he's able to bring bread for his family, and maybe some chicken also. So it's all the same. What counts is how much he learns, how much he's mechanech his children, how much he teaches his children, and how much chesed he does. And if he goes to the Makola to buy food, or he doesn't care about let his wife go, that's what counts. So I'm saying like this, but there was Rav Kook he gave to understand, he gave his Talmidim an understanding that the whole in itself is important. How do I know this? I see this because because first of all, there's those that are behemoths, that they're not married because they're rough people. Their way of life is like that. That there's some of them that are like 3/4 from and 1/4 chiloni, or half and half, or things like that. I mean, I once went, many years ago, to visit the kibbutz Staley. I saw it over there. You see, there's a dining room. And it's all mixed with men and women. Okay, families I understand, but not married people, bachrim and girls, and they're all sitting there together.
Rabbi Kaplan, we're going to take a break again. Thank you.